that when you're trying to okay, count we have done, row selection we have done, in the value section we have also done that. Normally we have the numeric options or numeric fields over here, but in just case if you want to have the text field in the value section, it will not do any processing of the names, but it will only count the names in the value section. But normally in the value section we have the option of if you go further go, and if I select the if I just double click on the values section of this pivot table field list, you will see further options coming over here. So you will see that move to report filter. I can easily do that by dragging option, but over here also I can do that. So it will allow me to move to the report filter, move to the row label, move to the column label. It can also allow me to remove. So if I remove the field, I can do that also. So it will remove the field. But I need not go to, especially at this particular criteria to remove the field. I can easily do that by, dragging these options in the original list which I have. Right? In a similar manner, if I just go back to that this option again, you will further see it says value field settings. You see that? So if I click on the value field settings, I will get this table. Another window will open up, and if you see, the window is actually giving me the option like source name, which is marks 5 as of now. Custom name is sum of marks. I can change that. I can just say only marks 5. Right? So if this happens, it will be appearing like that. So, and accordingly I can choose the value field by sum is the default option. That is the reason it was coming sum initially, because I didn't give command of sum in my pivot table. Since sum is the default option, it will always give you the sum of the values, and accordingly it will give you the grand total. But we have a choice of selecting the other options also. Like if you see, we have the option of selecting count, average, max, min, product, count number. We have standard deviation, then standard deviation probability. We have we have variable, we have var_p, and so on. Right? So all these options are available to you depending on the criteria. You can select that and you can get sorted. So let me see if I select max, then what happens. So if you see, all the other numbers have disappeared, but they are only giving me max of these numbers. So and it will give me two options. It will give me from the 2, it has given me 56. I must have given the grand total over here. So 56 has come over here, 23, 26, because it is all, I'm doing that command in the same pivot table. So it is difficult to interpret the meaning of what we are getting. But the point which I'm trying to tell you over here is that when you go to the value section, you can very easily select the kind of processing that you want to do in the pivot table. But as a norm, we always prefer to do it in the separate table just to have better analysis of the table. So if you just see, okay, so we have, okay, if I just interpret that, I gave the command as max of the marks 5. So what it has given me, it has given me the marks of max 5 only, but it has given me class wise. So if you see the first name, for the first student, Black, who's having max marks only in the, and he's in the 6th class only, so it has given me the max marks only in the 6th class, and that is what is appearing in the grand total also. So grand total doesn't mean over here the the summation of all the marks. Since I gave the option of max marks over here, it has given me the max option, max marks of this particular student. In a similar manner, since I have Bob here appearing in 2 classes, from 56 and 12, it will give me the 56, which is the max marks 5 of this particular student from the 2 classes. If I go further in the 3rd category for Gary, it has only 1. He's there only, 1 student in 5th class. So only those marks will be appearing in the final section. Similarly, if I just go back to the another student by the name Mohan, so there are two Mohans in the one in the class first and the other in the class third. It will give me the max marks of the two, and 77 will appear in the final column. Similarly, if I go to the next student Ram, he is appearing. There are two Rams, first in first and the second in the second. So of the two, it will give me the max marks in the last column. Similarly, we have the other options because Rita, Redhead, the other students are appearing one. So white is appearing twice. So of the two, it will give me the max marks in the final column. In a similar manner, let me try something more. If I just click on, I want to go back to the field settings again. And if I select the minimum option, let's see what happens. So if you see the values in the table, they are same, but the values in the final table, they have changed, right? So black was having only, it was only one student. So the only one number is appearing, that is 23. That is the minimum number in the column. Then we have Bob. There were two Bobs, 56 and one with 20, with one with 12. So earlier it was giving me 56 number since I had the max option of the max 5. But this time, since I changed my command from max to minimum, it has now given me 12 marks for the Bob who's there in the 7th class. Earlier, it was giving me the marks for Bob who's there in the 5th class. But since I changed the marks criteria, it was giving me marks accordingly. Further, if I just go down to the table, we have Gary. Since there is only one Gary, we have only 23 marks. Other Gary with single R is again with one number, 22. Geeta is having 32. Holly is having 87. Jolly is 87. Mohan is having 23 and 34. So from the two, it will give me only one option as 23 because I have given the option of minimum marks of the list. Further, if I go to the other student Ram, it is 12 and 54. It has given me 12 marks, which is, and you will also see another, observation. When I'm coming to the marks section in the grand total, it is also giving me that, window of, the summary. Remember, the summary used to come when we were talking about that conditional formatting when we were trying to validate the data. So when we were trying to validate the data, that same window used to come, and it used to tell that you can change the error message, you can change the options over there. In a similar manner, when I click on this particular cell, if and this window will appear only when there is that message to be shown. In the other cells, if you notice, that window is not appearing. Right now in 56, it is not appearing. But in 12, this will appear because 12 is the minimum marks of the lot. If I similarly place my cursor in any blank column, you will see that that box is not appearing over here. But if I go back to any number, and that number, which is the minimum number, only in that case, that minimum of marks 5 window will appear. So the window says it is the minimum marks of marks 5, value is 23. Row is for Mohan and column is for the first class. And if I just go back to my original final column and row, you will see the same result appearing over here, and that window will accordingly be showing. Similarly, if I go to all these different cells, this will change. If I just go to 32, this will actually tell you the minimum of the marks 5, value 32, row Geeta, column grand total, and accordingly this will tell you the result. So in this case, you've actually noticed that the original table was this that we have made. And from this original table, I'm very sure, the change that we are doing in the pivot table, we can't do the same change in the master table without moving the field, or without doing, or adding some more columns, or doing those things manually. We can do that, but if we do that manually, again, that will take more time. And especially when we have more column and more rows, it becomes often very confusing, where we have moved which particular cell or which particular row. And especially in a scenario where you have more duplicate numbers, more duplicate names, or the duplicated data, it becomes very difficult to track down the movement of the data. That is why we prefer not to work around with the master table. We just let it be like that, and then we try to make a change in the pivot table, which is very very flexible table. And main table is the, you can say, the final table. This main table is a rigid table. We would want to make it very rigid, because we would not want to make a change in the main table or the master table. All right. And the pivot table is very flexible. I just have to make a choice from this pivot field list, and depending on my choice, you will see the change happening in the pivot table. And as per my like, I've made a choice of only name and the class, it has given me the data only for that. So this changes, they are very flexible. I can easily make that in the pivot table just at the click option. It would hardly take a second for me to select the field and have a table ready for me. But the same thing if I do on the master table, the disadvantage is that you may lose out the track of the data change that you have made in the master table. And also, normally we don't make a change in the master table. We prefer to make a change in the pivot table, because master table is something which will be same for a long time. For example, there could be a company which is having a master table with the employee names, salaries, then the department name, product name, and the detailed salary components of the employees. So normally we see that in the master table, these very components will not change every now and then. Like the salary component will be same for time to come. It won't change every day, it won't change every month. In a similar manner, we presume that the department is going to be same for the time to come. So production department will be production department for years to come. It won't become HR, or it won't become any other department. So with that purpose, we never manipulate, or we never change the master table. But whatever change we want to make, or we want to show, or we want to display, for that changes we prefer to use the pivot table. All right. So let me just do something more, and I'll give you 2 questions to make a table, one without filter and one with the filter. So I remember I gave you the filter command initially. So if I just put class not in the column label but in the filter option, you will see that the filter column will appear just above the table, and I can select the option depending on this. So if I just select 7th and I say okay, you will see that only those students appearing in the 7th class will come over here. And if you just take another note, the original, the previous command which I have given over here, minimum of the marks 5, will be filtered accordingly, because now I've filtered on the class basis. So it will not give me the names and the marks for all classes. It will only give the names and the marks of the students who are there in the 7th class. In a similar manner, if I just make a choice of 6th class, accordingly, I'm sure the names will change, and they have changed indeed. So earlier there was Bob, now we have black, red, head, and white, and the marks are given accordingly. In a similar manner, if I just make any choice, I can also make multiple items. Earlier it was just one choice which I was making, but just in case if I want to have the multiple items in my filter, I can make the choice of 6th, 3rd, 4th, and accordingly I can give okay, and this will give me the names of all those people as per my filter criteria. But I'm very sure, since in this case, you can't remember whether, Black and Geeta or Holy and Jolly, they were there in which class. So that becomes very confusing. So I will prefer to have this in the column section, which can actually tell me, all the names, all the people who are there, either in the 4th, 2nd, 6th, or the 3rd class. So let me